Sam Vanellen is here, Bob Cooney is here, and the author of this wonderful book, Barbaro, Smarty, Jones, and Ruffian, The People's Horses, Dr. Linda Hanna, joins us. Linda, great to see you. You're at Westchester University, a professor in elementary education.
Absolutely.
Local girl made good.
I hope.
There you go. Tell us, because you, as you say in the book, you're writing this from the perspective of horse racing fan.
Absolutely. But when I put the book together, I was hoping that I could bridge both worlds, so that somebody who had been in, with horses and breeding and training and racing would be able to find a message there too, but also to take some of the language and make it a little bit easier on the normal people who don't understand what some of these terms mean.
Why did you group them, Barbaro, Smarty, Jones, and Ruffian? Obviously, Barbaro and Ruffian did not have great ends to their stories. No. Smarty Jones didn't have it on the track, but certainly not like the other two horses.
There's a chapter in the book that I call charismatic horses. I think these three horses, for whatever reason, connected with the public, unlike many of the other horses. You have Ruffian. She's sandwiched between or among Secretariat, Seattle, Slow, and Affirmed. You probably hear as much, if not more, about Ruffian than you do about the other three. That was 3 Triple Crown winners in 5 years. You have Smarty. I mean, I just think Smarty took the nation by storm. I think Smarty made a difference in this industry like nothing that we've seen in the last 25 years. And he just took everybody with him. And it was just like Ruffian. You had people placing bets who didn't know anything about horses. Mm-hmm. You had people following along that just were taken in by the Smarty effect.
Well, it's funny that you said just like Ruffian, because I would put, having lived my life through those three of them, Smarty and Ruffian to me had a common chord, and I'm not a horse racing guy, but it was the little guy. We made such a big deal about Smarty being little and Ruffian taking on the boys and all that kind of stuff. And the tragedy of the one of them really, I think, even emphasized.
Right. What I bring out in the book, though, and there's a couple erroneous things that are out there. Number one, Smarty's not little. He's 16 hands right now. So is distorted humor. He's the size of your really prominent breeding stallions. And I think his pedigree. I mean, you have Seattle Slew on one side of the pedigree, you have Secretariat in the other. If they wanted to say he was a little blue-collar horse for whatever reason, but if you really look into it from a scholarly standpoint, I mean, his breeding's incredible. And Barbaro had a phenomenal breeding. I mean, Dinah Former has gone as a stallion at Three Chimneys, and now there's a high price on him. But I think Barbaro, it was a strong, incredible horse, but I think we're just so taken back by what happened to him, the tragedy of it. But you know what, the other thing that I think is positive, there's so many things that people know about that have to do with the horse industry now that they care about. These breakdowns, these track surfaces, raising money for unwanted horses. And there's chapters in the book where I talk about nothing but that. And I think Barbaro, the whole veterinary medicine piece with the equine injuries, Dean Richardson on the TV all the time, I think it did an awful lot. It's a shame that something negative had to bring about so many positive things, but I think that's a plus.
Has it not brought some negative things as well? I mean, again, just being ears out there, there's a lot of people now who feel it's not a humane sport, feel it's not it shouldn't be in all that stuff we used to hear about boxing should be in a civilized society and such.
I think there's athletes in many other sports today, and these athletes may make decisions for themselves that are not good decisions. I think in the horse industry, and I bring this out too, you're making decisions for animals, and it's just like any other sport. You're going to have some people who are not necessarily good players, who don't always make good decisions. But there's wonderful trainers out there who really, really care about the horses. And I think Larry Jones, I have to bring out 8 Bells because I watched her 2 days before the Derby, and I watched her work out, and those people really, really care about that horse.
Linda, thank you for being here, and thank you for writing this. Best of luck with the book. The name of the book is Barbaro, Smarty, Jones, and Ruffian, The People's Horses, written by Linda Hanna, with a foreword by Governor Rendell and an introduction by Pat Chapman, owner of Smarty Jones. That'll do it. Thanks. Good night.